In Health Watch, intermittent fasting is certainly a dieting craze that has quickly grown in popularity. In the past 3 years, Google searches for eating plans have quadrupled.
I mean, it's worked miracles for me. Some of the most popular forms of the plan are whole day, which means no food for 1 or 2 days a week. Alternate day, which means meals are smaller on some days, but on others food isn't restricted. And time-restricted feeding, which means meals must be consumed during a shorter window every single day. Here to talk us through about what is science and what is just myth or fiction or what I think just works for me must work for everybody is CBS News medical contributor, Dr. David Agus. Good to see you, doctor. How are you?
Miracles. I'm waiting to hear this. Yes. Good to see you, too.
All right. So
we've been chit-chatting a little with the doctor in the break, and he's...
So some people have experienced success with intermittent fasting. I have done, and I do, and have for over a year, the restricted time where you eat something, for the first, like I eat something in the morning, and then I don't have anything until my evening meal, which is usually after.
So that I like.
Okay,
so
you do.
Intermittent fasting is many things to many people, and it took off crazy when there were some experiments in mice that showed if you withdrew food for several days in the mice, some stem cells got activated.
I am a mouse, as many people have told me. I'm not a man, I am a mouse.
We're all caught in this maze, Vlad.
I don't even know where to go with that, Vlad, but that being said, that's not true in adults. And so what our body strives for is regularity. So when it knows when you're going to have breakfast, insulin and cortisol go up, and then they go down after you eat. And then the same is true for dinner. So I don't care whether you have 2 meals or 3 meals a day, regularity what counts. No snacks in between.
Right.
Intermittent fasting.
So what you're saying, sorry, so just so I'm clear, I have a very small, like an egg for breakfast, and then I don't eat anything until my evening meal, which is usually at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night.
It is.
I get out of work.
This is a personal consultation, isn't it?
That's intermittent fasting, right?
Do you want to lie down while we talk, or is this...
Clearly.
Just give me a couch.
Here's my food diary.
Charge me $300 an hour.
And that's healthy. That's fine.
That is healthy.
Yes, so that's fine. What's not fine is binge for 5 days and take 2 days of fasting.
Interesting.
What's not fine is doing long periods of not eating. Okay. Our body gets very stressed. You may feel good in the short run, but what I care about is the long run. So if you look at the clinical trials of doing that, the first thing is there's about a 40% dropout, so it's very hard to do. The second is you don't lose no more weight than conventional diets. And when you start looking at blood markers like LDL, the bad cholesterol, it doesn't go down. And so what I care about is losing weight and the long-term health. The way to do that is 3 meals a day, or 2 meals in your case. It's just the regularity that's key, and nothing in between. Protein and fats dominating each meal.
So for some people, this system's going to work because if they say if they eat in the middle of the day, everyone else is eating garbage and they'll just collapse. And so, giving themselves restrictions helps to keep them on the road that they want to be on. But are there some people who, should not try this? They should probably look for something else.
Oh, well, there are people with diabetics, pregnant women, people with existing health condition, heart disease, and other. You don't want to put your body on a starvation in a stress mode diet. It's really not healthy. But the key is, all these fad diets, they are exactly that, fad diets. We all want to figure out a way to hack the human body. I figured out a way to lose weight. The simple thing is, evolutionarily, we were made to have 2 or 3 meals and nothing in between. Eat real food, 2 to 3 meals a day, nothing in between is the healthiest way to do it. These fads are just that, because it's not just short term, you have to look long term. These are dramatic interventions in your life you're making, and so the question is, what does it mean 5, 10, 20 years out for heart disease, Alzheimer, and cancer? And in most of the cases, we don't have that data.
And hey, those are the diseases that are killing us in this country, and that's really what you should be focused on.
A lot of the...
But Vlad's focused on miracles.
We all want to look good, right?
What's your breakfast?
He said an egg. He has a hard-boiled egg.
Good. Perfect. Eggs are an amazing food. Choline, fat, protein, a fantastic food.
Yeah, no, so, and I think that for me, it does, I do have the sense that my body anticipates it in the morning when I come into work.
Yeah.
But the question I have is, you mentioned evolution, and I've read, these are probably primarily magazine articles, but that suggest that, humans evolved because we were in feast or famine modes constantly. We'd hunt something, we'd hunt a woolly mammoth, and we'd eat that for a day or two, and then we wouldn't be able to catch one for another 48 hours, and that's how our bodies. Is that not correct?
Well, there certainly is some truth to the fact that hunts weren't always successful. I'm not sure woolly mammoths were our predominantly food source, but that may be your people.
My ancestors, we were not picking berries. We were going after the woolly mammoth.
But again, if you want to look at the data, long term, remember evolution also said once you had your kids, classically at age 30, it didn't care about you anymore because you took up food and housing for the next generation. But our goal is to live until the 9th or 10th decade. The way we do that is we avoid disease. If your body doesn't know when you're going to eat, insulin and cortisol, the hunger hormones, go up. And what type 2 diabetes is not responding to those hormones. When they're always up, your body doesn't respond anymore. So people who graze have a dramatically higher diabetes rate than people who eat the same calories on a regular basis.
That's fascinating.
So the key is that regularity.
Wow.
Really interesting.
You have opened our eyes,
Yes,
doctor.
And we're trying to save the woolly mammoths of the world. I mean, it's...
We only got one a month. So. Dr. David Agus, thank you as always, my friend.